Welcome. Oftentimes, we may want to include extra credit assessment items in our assessment plan. To set up these extra credit items, we would set up the relevant assessments such as a discussion, assignment, blog, or even a column for an activity that is outside of the class. When it comes to setting the point value for the item, we set it to a 0. And then we make sure that the item is included in the grade center calculations. In this example, the points possible for various items add up to 1,000. And we have 2 extra credit items. Each one is worth 10 points, though in Blackboard we will set them up with 0 points. So here we see that a student has earned 958 points on 1,000, which is 95.8%. When the extra credit assessments are graded, assuming that the student earned 10 points on each of those items, 20 points are added to the total, and the result is 978 points or 97.8%. When the course grade is based on weightage, the weighted grade is represented as a percentage. To arrive at the final grade, we would set up a calculated column and add the weighted grade and the extra credit grades to arrive at the final grade. When planning an extra credit assessment in this case, we would need to set it up keeping in mind that the grade will be added to a percentage total. In this example, where the grade is arrived at as a weighted grade, we will still be setting up the extra credit at 0 points. However, instead of the 10 points that we saw earlier, we will be allocating 1 point or 1% for the extra credit items. So in this example, you can see that the student earned a weighted grade of 95.65%. When we add the earned grades of 1% for the extra credit, we would arrive at 97.65%. Now let us see how we can set this up in Blackboard. First, let us check out the grade center. And here we see that the student has earned these grades, and the current grade in the course is 95.8% or an A-. Let us set up the extra credit in week 1 as an assignment and an extra credit discussion for week 2. As we discussed, the point value for this assignment will be set up as 0, and we will include the grade in the grade center calculations. So now when I click submit, this column should show up in the full grade center. And you can see that it is right there. Similarly, let us set up the discussion. So we create a forum, and once again, we make it a graded discussion, but the point value will stay at 0 and click submit. Again, we go to the full grade center and we should see the extra credit discussion, and we've got the extra credit assignment. Now let us go ahead and add the 10 points for both the items. So you can see the course grade changed from 95.8 to 97.8. And so in this case, since our grade is calculated as a total of the assessment items, all we did was we set up the extra credit items, we made sure they were included in grade center calculations, and the calculations were automatically updated. Now, just as a matter of interest, if we wanted to include these extra credit items in the midterm grade, we would need to go to Edit Column Information, and then we would need to include these items in the midterm grade calculations and click Submit. And now the midterm grade includes the extra credit items. Next, we will look at a course where the calculation is done as a weighted total. As we see here, the weighted total for this student is currently 95.65% or an A-. We're going to go ahead and set up the extra credit items the same way we did for the other course. Set up the assignment. And then make sure the point value is 0. We want to make sure that the grade is included in the grade center calculations. Click Submit. And then similarly, we set up a discussion. We create a graded discussion forum, but the points possible are 0. Click Submit. Now when I go back to the full grade center, I'm going to enter 1% as compared to the 10 points that I added into the other course. Now notice that as I added that in, this value did not change. So in order to arrive at the final grade, we need to go to Create Calculated Column, select Totals column, let's call it Final Grade, Score and Letter Grade, and now we will select the columns that need to be added in. So we are looking at weighted grade plus the extra credit items and click on Submit. And now we move the final grade near the front of the list. As you can see, the final grade is now 2 percentage points higher than the weighted column.